There was once someone who gave his life so we could come close to God. And people followed him, but they were not exactly sure who he was. One day they asked Jesus, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am the light." And this light is with us as we get ready for our story. I want you to watch where I go to get our story for today. There's some very important pieces. This is the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible was not always a book like this. It started out as stories around campfires, and then later in homes when grandparents and parents told the stories to their children. And then later, people started to write down these stories on anything they could find. Pieces of leather, and then paper. And then they started to put the stories together. Finally, when the printing press was created, they started to print Bibles just like we have today. This Bible has a front cover and a back cover. And in our Godly Play classroom, we open it up and all of the stories come out. Now, we like to tell the stories the way they did in the old times, in a circle together. This represents all of the books of the Bible. Now, I wonder what all of these colors mean. Because as you can see, we have green and a kind of peach, very pale yellow and blue, another kind of yellow down there, some bright orange. This kind of looks like a library. And all of these colors represent genres. Have you ever heard that word before? Genre just means a kind of story or writing. For example, my favorite movie is Star Wars: A New Hope. And that type of movie is called science fiction. So that's the genre of movie. The books in the Bible contain so many different kinds of writing or genres. We have the first 5 books in the Bible. That's called the Torah, or the books of the law. We have books of poetry down here. We have the prophets. We have a lot of letters. There's so many different kinds of writing in the Bible. Now, our Bible is split into 2 parts. We have an Old Testament, which is also called the Jewish Bible, and the New Testament. And in our library here, the Old Testament is all of these books on the first 2 rows. And the New Testament is only this last row here. So what do you think? Is the Old Testament bigger than the New Testament? You know, the stories that we have here in the Godly Playroom are found in the Bible. Let's see where we can find some of them today. If we read in the Old Testament or the Jewish Bible, we have our story of creation. We have our story of Noah. We have our stories of Abraham and Sarah, of Ruth, of King David. And if we go into our New Testament, we have our stories about Jesus. The New Testament starts with the stories of how Jesus was born. We have all of our parables. And then we have all of the letters that Paul wrote to the new Christians. So as you're at home, you may be wondering, how can I read the Bible? And my first suggestion is that you read it together with your family. Maybe you want to start with the stories of Jesus or the parables. Reading the Bible is one way that we grow with God, and we grow with God for our entire lives. I wonder what are some other ways that we can grow with God. Now, if you are in 3rd or 4th grade or even older, you may want to start to read a Bible that's written at your reading level and one that you can explore by yourself. So I suggest to you to actually get together with your adults and check out a YouTube channel called The Bible Project. And it can be a good place to help you get started. So I actually have a home challenge for you this week. I would like you to talk to your families about your favorite Bible story, or a story that you remember really well, or one that you liked. And I want you to use the toys that you have at home to create that story. So you could use Barbies, or superhero figures, or Legos, or stuffed animals. And I would like you to create your favorite Bible story and then have your adults share it on our Facebook page or just with me. I would love to see your favorite stories. Now it's time to change the light. As you know, when we change the light, it's not gone. It's just different. And in fact, we each have the light of Christ with us no matter where we are.